You know, obviously not pleased with the result. I mean, we're a team that, you know, wants to get results. Tough match for us today. They were probably a little better than us at key moments in the game. You know, I think for us it was, you know, you need a full gas tank to play well sometimes, and when you're playing on half a gas tank, you know, it's making it a little bit tougher. You know, Evans, you know, felt a tight groin, so he came out at halftime. We had to take Andy Rose out because he felt his hamstring getting tight. You know, Marco Papa was sick, was under the weather. You know, those are guys, you know, might not have played under normal circumstances. So, but at the end of the day, you know, I thought the guys went out there. I thought they put in a good effort. I thought we were around the goal. Our quality at the final pass, the final finish wasn't as good as it needed to be. We really haven't had a chance to train. And obviously there's a lot of new young players that were out there, but was very happy with some of the guys who are getting a lot of minutes lately because of the injuries. I thought Roldan played well. I thought Azira played well. You know, and so I'm not that disappointed. I mean, I am disappointed, but on the same token, I'm proud of the effort that the guys put in.
Matt?
Had you noticed Brad laboring at all, or was that something that he just kind of brought to you guys at halftime?
He felt it right before the game, thought, okay, let me get into the game, maybe it'll get better, it'll ease up. He hit a pass right before the game, and that's where he felt it. And it just didn't get any better, didn't feel he could hit any long balls out of the back, so he was holding himself to short passes and things like that, so that's why we made the change.
Don?
Obviously, there was just the reality of all the talent that you were missing, but did you feel there was any distraction or anything from what was a very odd week for the club?
No, I think we were okay. I think our mentality, our focus was good. You know, I think the only issue is just you know, a lot of guys, you know, having a lot of minutes on their backs. I mean, you know, we played. I forget when Evans's card was, you know, and Oba's injury, but we played. You know, a lot of guys played 40 minutes. You know, 2 men down. You know, and that just carries with it.
Will?
With Pineda and Ozzy out, what did you hope to get out of your three central guys, and what do you think you did get?
I thought Azira and Roldan played very well as the tandem deeper in the middle. I thought they were fine. We really didn't feel we had a second forward per se, so that's why we decided to go in a 4-2-3-1. You know, and then, you know, Rose was to join into the attack. Papa needed to join in. Papa ended up playing a little too deep, you know, for my liking. I wanted him to be a little bit higher. But then again, he was, you know, he was tired as well. And so we're looking for is getting those three underneath guys, Thomas, Papa, and Rose, to be a little more offensive, you know, than they were. But I thought Azira and Roldan were pretty solid.
Steven?
From those midfield three, do you think that there was a spark there or a promise there that you haven't seen from your midfield in a 4-4-2 this season?
No, I mean it was more the selection that was available to us. It wasn't like we said, okay, we got to go with a three-man midfield in the middle so we get more of a spark in the middle of midfield. It was a situation that, based on the qualities and the abilities of the players that we had, where they were comfortable, you know, in the positions that they play, you know, what their comfort level is. We had more guys that are comfortable coming out of midfield, and we had guys who want to stay up higher and play back to goal and things like that.
Michelle?
This is kind of a two-parter. Given the circumstances, lots of guys out, lots of guys playing tired or sick or whatever the circumstance may be, what was the message of kind of encouragement to the group going into the match, and did that change at halftime, or kind of how did you perpetuate that message?
No, our message going into the match was we're coming out here to win the game. We're gonna fight. We're gonna battle, and we're gonna, you know, make things tough on them. You know, I think their first goal, the timing of it when it came, you know, hurt us a little bit. I didn't think we had given up much up until that point. I thought we were pretty solid defensively, and you know, made a couple of errors there, and they got that goal, and so that made it a little more difficult for us. But you know, the object was to play to zero, see if we can snag a goal on the other end of the field. You know, and if that first goal doesn't happen, I think, you know, maybe the result turns out a little different.
Will?
No shots on target in the second half. Was there anything in particular with the attack you didn't feel like was clicking?
I think guys just got fatigued. You know, Thomas, you know, ran out of gas. That's why we subbed him pretty early. Marco Papa started dropping deeper and deeper, looking for the ball. Andy Rose, you know, wasn't, you know, made some penetrating runs, but they were more on the flank area. So we just couldn't sustain. I mean, we got around the box. Even their second goal came from us putting crosses in and putting pressure on them, you know, so it wasn't necessarily shots. I mean, sometimes people get all hung up with shots on goal, and I think it's a very misleading statistic, you know. So we were around the goal. We were there. We were hitting crosses. Guys were just missing on crosses. You know, we had Andy Rose cut a ball back. You know, nobody was at the top of the 18. Those are legitimate, you know, opportunities, but we didn't have people in the positions they needed to be at, a little bit because of fatigue, a little bit because of maybe new guys that didn't know, hey, I have to be there at that one. But even their second goal came from us putting pressure on them, and then them coming back and scoring. So it's just our quality in the final third wasn't as sharp as it needed to be, and I think that's more fatigue related than personnel related.
Matt? Go ahead.
Injuries are obviously a fact of life in this league, but this recent run coupled with Dempsey's absence, I mean, is this an uncommon thing? I mean, is this a particularly unfortunate run for you guys here?
It's a heavy load right now, but it's something we've got to get through, and we'll fight through it.
Michelle, do you have a follow-up there?
Sort of. Yeah. With the quick turnaround as you guys travel to Philadelphia, team's already fatigued. How are you guys going to kind of handle that situation, and are you concerned that kind of this stretch of matches is going to be on top of everything else?
Guys just have to take care of themselves. You know, got to make sure that guys get into the ice baths, take care of themselves in terms of regeneration. They sleep well, they eat well. You know, just try and refuel as much as possible. I think that's the important thing for us now.
All right.
They're 8-1 against you guys since 2012 now. Is there any particular reason for that, or is that just one of those things you can't explain?
I wish I could explain it, because we'd do it a lot better against them if we could explain it. Just, you know, for some reason, you know, I think today they caught us on a good day, you know, for them, you know, from a standpoint of where our team was. But, you know, obviously they're a team that's had success against us, and we got to, you know, figure out how to turn that around.
No.
You had said, I think, during the week that maybe you expected Barrett back. Do you still think that could be the case, and do you think anybody else will be back this week?
We'll see. You know, we'll see in terms of Barrett for Wednesday. We'll see in terms of Gonzalez. Pineda was on the bench, but we really didn't feel he could go today. So we'll see about him for Wednesday as well.
Is Ozzy still kind of distant?
Ozzy, you know, we'll see, but Wednesday's probably too soon.
Other questions? Matt?
We hadn't been able to talk since the suspension came down to Clint. 3 games, is that about what you're expecting? And do you think that that's a fair sanction for what he did?
I don't know what I expected. You know, I didn't have expectations going in saying it'd be this or that. You know, at the end of the day, it was just, okay, it's going to be what it's going to be, and, you know, we'll accept it, we move on.